Welcome to another episode of Graceful Touch Speaks Out, where we talk with leading authorities in a variety of different ways as it relates to health and wellness. Sometimes that leading authority-ship comes from personal experience. And I think that's a little bit about what we're going to be dealing with as we talk with Verum Visand today. I hope I got that last name right there. But Verum, welcome to the call.
Thank you. Yes. So officially, yeah, my name is Verum
Verum,
Visand. Yes, sir.
okay?
It's just a moniker that I've been using since I started, creating this online community of mine. Um, but yes, I am a certified peer specialist for the state of Ohio, um,
A
which
certified what again?
a certified peer specialist.
Okay,
Yeah. So, it's peer support essentially. And
got it.
I've been doing peer support for roughly 3 years now, going on 3 years, and I do love it. I love it.
Awesome.
It really
So,
works.
so in today's topic, we're going to use that professional peer experience to talk about using past trauma to heal others. Now, I looked through a little bit of your bio and everything and whatnot, and it seems like you've had a little bit of past trauma that would be able to relate to that from which you build your foundation. Am I correct?
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly right. Yes, sir.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. In order to have this role, I need to have lived experience, as they call it. Um, and I am encouraged to share that lived experience with peers, as we call it in the field, right? And so um, I am now in five. I'm 5.5 years now in recovery after 10 years in active addiction. I sum it up as active addiction because while it was primarily opioids, it was pretty much just whatever the flavor of the week was, really.
Sure.
So primarily, I was a heroin addict for 10 years, and I lived that lifestyle. When I say that, I mean like the streets lifestyle for altogether close to 15 years. So this 5.5 years of recovery has been deconstruction of sorts and come a long way. And those experiences, while some I have learned from, there is a lot of trauma in there. Some self-induced, but trauma nonetheless.
That's interesting that you bring forward the factor of self-induced, because typically when someone thinks of trauma, we think of something happening to an individual from an outside source. But trauma can sometimes be something happening to an individual from an inside source.
Absolutely, yeah. The definition of trauma is a broad one, and much like everything else in the mental health industry, it becomes stigmatized. So, you know.
Yeah. So now, as you've got this past trauma, how do you bring that forward into the reality of today to help to heal others? How does the fact that you were a heroin addict and whatnot and had this trouble back then help to spring forward into helping those that are struggling with trauma today?
Well, first of all, I don't know if you heard that obnoxious noise. I've been having some kind of issue with my air conditioning. It's being obnoxious, so apologies if that was too loud. But
No problem.
yeah, um, yeah, you pose a pretty thought-provoking question. How is a great question. How do I, use that? And essentially, it's very simple. It just comes to open communication. And
Mm,
what I put first and foremost before any other practice is transparency. Um,
mm.
yeah,
Being real.
just being
Mm.
transparent, 100%. Yeah.
So, are you, when you're looking for the ideal client to work with you, be, given that your trauma, even self-induced, was heroin back when, are you looking specifically for people that are dealing with heroin addiction, which I'm certain there's many of them, or can the fact that you went through that trauma deal with alcoholism, uh, and whatever whatever the addiction is, food. Um, can you use your specific trauma to help speak to traumas that you may never have experienced?
Absolutely. Yeah, because uh, it's a matter of relativity. Um, you know, you just need to say the right thing, to get through to somebody. And addiction is addiction.
Hmm.
We're all dealing with the same beast, we're all dealing with the same
I
creature,
need to put you on hold for 1 second, just one quick second.
Very good.
Go ahead, Verum. Sorry, I ran out of my power cord.
Oh, no
I'm
worries.
back.
Um, yeah, it's just a matter of saying the right thing. We're all dealing with the same creature, uh, addiction, depression, anxiety. You know, we all have our own idea of, like, we all have our own perspective. We all have our own vision of what this beast looks like. But nonetheless, we deal with it,
So
and
would
so.
stress fit in there too? I know you mentioned anxiety, depression. What about stress? I think this world is in a little bit of stress today.
Oh yeah, 100%. Stress
So we
management is huge. Yeah. Go
so
ahead.
we have these catalysts, be it stress or depression or anxiety, that propel us into seeking out these addictions so that we can eliminate the catalyst. Do I have that correct?
Yeah,
Now,
I mean,
does the catalyst actually go away in that scenario?
no is the short answer,
Yeah,
but
exactly, right?
yeah, you can band-aid it, you can shut it up for a little while, but no,
But
no.
it's gonna surface.
In fact, it's going to do the opposite, and it's going to build. And
Mm, very good point.
if I have some dirt on the floor that needs to be swept up and thrown away, but I'm too much in a hurry, so I just sweep it under the rug, and I do that over and over again because it worked. I got it out of the way. It was really quick and really easy. I just swept it under the rug, and I'm like, next time, wow, I'm just gonna do that again, and I just sweep it under the rug, and it's not like I'm seeing any negative effect, so why not? Just keep doing it like that. Well, it's gonna build, and eventually you're gonna trip yourself over the you know, huge bump in the carpet. So you're gonna end up tripping
Yeah,
yourself up, and that's one of my favorite metaphors for that. It doesn't go away unless, well, not in the way of using drugs or some other kind of shortcut. You have to face it head on. And even then, I don't think it goes away. You just minimize it. And it's all
you
about
learn how to manage it.
mitigation. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It
So,
is about management. And I think that, people, there's the debate, and we don't have to get into the debate itself, but there is the debate of whether or not mental illness as a disease per se, is addiction a disease per se. I'm of the mind it's more of a symptom of a greater disease. And you know, much like cancer, you can be
Mm.
healed and you can go into remission, but I don't know that you can ever be cured. But that
Sure.
is just my perspective.
So, what would the greater disease from addiction or that sort of thing be that is kind of masking or what's below that
Well, that's
or
what
above it?
I mean, that's what we're here for, right? That's what
Mm.
building, that's what, trusting in a peer specialist, peer coach comes in handy. You got to find somebody that works with you, because there's a lot of coaches online nowadays. And, if you find somebody that works for you, so be it. Just make sure that it's somebody who connects with you on a real level. And if you can, then your main goal, and this is the same goal you're going to be doing if you go see a shrink. It doesn't matter who you go to. It's all about building a support system, period. What that support system looks like, again, just like the beast itself, is going to look different to everybody. How you
So
envision it
so
is going to look different.
it's not a one size fits all.
Oh, absolutely not. No, 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 no.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's kind of like a Lego set. Everybody gets the same pieces, maybe, but everybody's gonna build it differently. So, you can, like, some Lego sets you build, and I got one, a really cool one, and it's like a whole display of like a Star Wars scene, right? Well, if I wanted to, I could just use those pieces and put it on another setup and make a bigger setup of my own design. Like, you can use it however you want, but everybody gets the same pieces. There is an instruction manual, but it's up to you to believe whether or not that works for you. So,
So what is the one thing that people that are looking for a peer specialist like yourself that are dealing with addictions and whatnot, what's the one thing that you believe is holding them back from connecting with
misinformation is a huge one. I don't know if that's the
you?
main one, but that's just the first thing that came to mind. Misinformation. Um, but I think what's stopping them is fear.
Mm.
It's a matter of, are you ready or not? And I think that everybody's kind of waiting for somebody else to make the first move. And you get to a point, a breaking point. I prefer breaking point or something of that, language, as opposed to rock bottom, because there is no bottom. It just keeps going. The only bottom is 6 feet under. That's the rock bottom.
Yeah,
Um,
well, by then they're beyond our level of service, I'd imagine.
yeah. So I mean, everybody reaches a breaking point, I think, where you have to acknowledge that if we're talking about your mental health, it's right there. It's your mental health. So you have to get to a
Right,
breaking
right.
point where you realize this is you. You are living with you inside your head. How are you going to do it, man? Because I can sit here and I can tell you all the things, and I can relate to you on all the levels, and have give you every Lego piece I have, but it just won't matter if you don't want to put it together.
If you're not willing to take the initiative.
Absolutely.
Hmm. So, tell me a little bit. So you mentioned you've got your own past with past trauma that
Mhm.
can springboard into a variety of present day traumas where you can help as a peer specialist. Is there a specific, like if you had your ideal person to work with, um, what would that look like?
Oh, interesting. Um, if we're just talking about me specifically, right?
Yeah, you specifically.
I am in recovery,
What do you like to work? If you had
right?
your own ideal specific, yeah,
Right. Which I am. I am designing my own kind of format in a way where I do want to start coaching independently. Um, you know, because I do this for a living, and I work for an industry. Industries are limiting, you know. So
I agree with you.
I have been doing some kind of thinking about ideal candidates and stuff, and I think that because I am in recovery myself, that somebody
Hmm.
fresh in recovery, I'm not going to be able to help much because um, I'm not. I mean, on the grand scheme, I'm still kind of fresh myself. I'm only 5 years, 5.5 years in, which feels like
Sure,
a lifetime for me. But 20 years later, that this is a small percentage. So
sure.
um, I think that I work best with people who are serious. You know, not to say that people fresh are not serious, but there's too much chaos in that, um, and that kind of chaos is bad for my mental health, and that's something that I have to keep in check as well. So if I'm dealing with people who are serious, we're talking people who are maybe a year into recovery. You know, we're talking 12 to 18 months into recovery, roughly, obviously, but somebody who at least knows what they want, has a goal. Even if that ends up not being what they achieve and they totally just branch out and go this way, we need a starting point. So somebody 12 to 18 months into their recovery with some kind of starting point. That would be my ideal
Got it.
candidate.
Got it. Now, how would that person reach out to you? How would they connect with you?
Well, I'm on a lot of social media. I don't have a large following, so I'm not exactly in everybody's For You page, but I'm out there. And you can DM me. My
So
DMs are open.
how would they connect the dots and find you on social media?
Well, I've tried to use the same name as best I can. So, um, and I didn't do all these V's on purpose. It just worked out like that. But yeah, my name's Verum. You find me Verum Visand on Twitter. You'll find me, which what I'm building
Okay,
is called,
let me stop for just a second. So Verum is Verum.
yes,
Visand is Visand.
yes, Verum Visand
Mm-hmm.
on Twitter. I think, what else? There's another one. Oh, Facebook, Twitter and Facebook. And the community that I'm building is called the Vagabard community. I have a blog, vagabard.blogspot.com. That's spelled Vagabard. It's just a portmanteau of the words vagabond and bard.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my community is all about connecting with people who the we all feel like outcasts. If we're here in this kind of conversation, we all have felt like an outcast at one point or another. I'm reaching out to the downcast and those people who, um, even with the outcasts, feel like the outcast. The creative wandering spirit within everybody. That's what a vagabond is to me. The creative wandering soul. And that's what I like to focus on when it comes to healing is your creativity. So once we gather, we come in as a community, we do creative things together, and you know, learn some things and be transparent. I'm still working on the format. Don't get me wrong, but
Sure.
Vagabard community. You can find me at Vagabard, pretty much everywhere else. TikTok, Instagram, there's another one called Clapper. Yeah. So if you don't mind, I could send you the links and you could post them with
Not a
uh
problem. Not a
with the
problem.
with the video.
So what else from what I have not asked you, what else would you want your community, the addiction recovery community, to know that is, just like this is essential to know, and that you don't want them to miss, and yet a lot of people do?
Oh man. Huh. That's a great question, man. I'm not even gonna lie. Give me a moment to think, because what is it that they that I think they should know that maybe is left out of the picture
Yeah,
in most cases.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
The odds are with you.
That's such a positive encouragement. Just those three words. The odds are with you.
Yep.
May I add to that, but only if you stay in the game?
Yeah, I think that's the implication that goes with it. Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um
The odds are with you. I like that. That's super cool.
I just plugged myself a bunch of times. I didn't even mention that you can find me /Visand, Visand, on Twitch and Kick, because I do my own live streams, and it's built up as a channel where we're going to do different shows. Right now we only do one show, and it's called The Odd I See, and that's how I end every show. The odds are with you. So. And
Very
what
well.
I've
There you go. And that's. I think that's good because the odds are with you. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, because we're all statistics is where that comes from. We're all statistics. What really struck me in recovery is the fact that they say that like 1 in 10, or I can't even remember the statistic. It's very slim, right? And I told myself, well, I'm going to be that one. Everybody
There you
says
go.
that to themselves. Everybody says that to themselves. So why are you not recovering? You're holding yourself back. And if you accept that, then you'll know that the odds are with you. So
Awesome, awesome. Well, my name is Guy Severson. I own the owner of GracefulTouch.org in Rapid City, South Dakota. We provide massage. We also have a product line of over 50 different products that you can find at GracefulTouchProducts.org, all certified organic, plant-based, certified organic. And if you want to join me, just like Verum did today, and um, share what you are doing to make a difference in the health and wellness industry, well, I welcome that. The best way to communicate with me on that is on Instagram, where you can find me as Pain Relief, the number 4, the letter U. Pain Relief for you. Now, Verum, I'm going to come back to you one more time here. A golden nugget out of everything we talked about, and we talked about a lot. What if people could only take one thing away from it? What would you want that one thing to be?
I think what I said about everybody, it looks different to everybody. Everybody sees, I can't remember how I worded it now, but almost like to each their own, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think that if somebody was able to catch that point, that would be crucial. To each their own. Uh, the beast looks different to everybody, and as I was saying, when they build their support system, that looks different to everybody, and usually it's in direct correlation to how that beast looks. You got to have the right army to fight the right beast. So um, if you understand that it's not one size fits all, I think that's crucial.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I do thank you so much for coming out and having this conversation with me. We will be getting it out onto social medias and whatnot so that we can help people learn that past trauma really can heal others. And that can start with us individually and then springboard forward into those who are in our circle of influence. Thank you for your time today, Verum.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.